in the game. That has to be what happens.
Well, my foot might be hurt a little more longer, you know. I mean, I feel bad for the guy because, you know, the Jets have had some really good games this year that they didn't continue to use that role you get from playing a really good game. So,
I mean, the momentum was there, and actually the momentum now is going in the opposite direction.
So
because, like I said, yesterday's game should have been a chance for the Jets to, I'm not even going to say start a good chunk of their season, but it should have been a way to stop the bleeding of what's becoming a bad season, or it should have just been a one-day reprieve from some of the negativity that's built up over the last few weeks. But instead, it just piled on. I mean, to me, yesterday was by far the worst performance of the season, and there have been some bad ones already.
Right. Wow. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's where we are right now. And you know, I mean, if you look at the offense, Josh McCown passed for 135 yards and threw 2 interceptions. Obviously, no touchdowns. Running the ball, which the Jets kept saying, this is a team that's built to run the ball. 18 carries for 83 yards. I mean, first of all, that's terrible.
I know.
Actually, it's not even horrible. 4.6 yards per carry is not too bad. But the Jets went 3 and out so many times that they never built up anything on offense, and the defense had to keep going back on the field.
Right.
So they weren't able to move the ball at all. Their first, I think it was 4 drives, were 3 and out. And in fact, I remember them saying, I remember the announcers saying, because I did the game yesterday for CBS, after the Jets' first 3 drives, they had amassed all of 1 yard in their first 3 drives. I mean, that's obviously that's embarrassing. You get the ball 3 times, you move a total of 1 yard.
Right, that's not good.
So that's 3 punts.
We're going to take a break right now. You're listening to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC. Tim, you're at Twitter at
Real Tim Leonard.
All Nassau Community College students, faculty, and administrative staff are invited to the 10th Annual Long Island Volunteer Fair, presented by the Association of Professional Volunteer Administrators on Tuesday, November 20th from 10 to 4, featuring over 40 nonprofit organizations actively seeking volunteers.
Check out the opportunities to work with animals, youth or seniors, to help at museums, soup kitchens, shelters, or healthcare facilities, to join an emergency preparedness group, become an advocate for special needs, or protect the environment. A book drive to benefit the book fairies and a food drive to benefit the nest will be held.
More information can be found at apvali.org.
All hit music. For all those songs radio has forgotten about, join me, Big Ed, Mondays from 10 a.m. till noon for The Good Gold Show. We'll bring back all the great hits of the 50s, 60s, 70s, and more. The sounds of doo-wop to disco, all the Motown, soul, and great rock and roll. We'll even take your requests and dedications to The Good Gold Show. Music. On the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC, and streaming on the iHeartRadio app.
See, this is hi-fi, okay? High fidelity. You know what that means? That means this is the highest quality fidelity. Hi-fi. Those are 2 very important things to have in the stereo system.
Join me, Kim Tracy, on High Fidelity for a mix of music with a focus on newer music and lesser-known artists every Thursday at 2 p.m. on the voice of Nassau Community College 90.3 WHPC and streaming with the iHeartRadio and TuneIn apps.
Welcome back to From the Press Box. Here every Monday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. My name is Rob Leonard. On the phone today. Usually he's in the studio, but he's on the phone today. Is award-winning sports writer and my brother, Tim Leonard. Hello, Timothy, again. How are you doing?
Good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Good commercial.
My foot hurts a little bit, again.
Here we go.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why. I wake up and it just hurts. So it's the foot. It's not around the ankle like it usually is. So, but I did walk a lot on Saturday. I was over at a symposium at Monmouth University.
I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, so I was like, wow, nice little campus there. You know?
Oh yeah.
I know you covered a lot of games over there. So
I have been to Monmouth University. We used to cover some state soccer tournament games over there. I believe it was.
Yeah, they had a game going that day. You know, so
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, so I want to talk soccer, brother. We usually send it to the end of the show. Let's put it in the middle of the show. First, well, before we do soccer, the Giants play the 49ers tonight, Monday night. Football, ESPN is loving tonight's game.
No, they're not.
No, well, they, remember, people don't watch Monday Night Football for the football. They watch it for the fun ESPN announcers.
I can tell you tonight they're going to be watching it for the alcohol.
Well, whatever.
This might be the worst Monday Night Football matchup in Monday Night Football history.
I think the only team worse if they had played the Raiders. You know,
that's the only team that's worse than the two teams that'll be playing tonight.
You know, can't just a quick thing about the Raiders? They're moving in a year or two.
Yes.
Can't they give their fans a happy goodbye?
No.
You know, these fans are the craziest fans maybe in the NFL. They've always been loyal. When they returned after being in Los Angeles all those years, they forgot. It was like the prodigal son has returned. You know, we don't care that you were gone. You're back. And now the Raiders are never going to return to Oakland because that stadium deal in Las Vegas. You know what? As much as Al Davis was a tough negotiator, I think he would have found a way to stay in Oakland where his son, said, oh, we'll just go to Vegas.
I probably am going to disagree with that because Al Davis, as much as he loved Oakland and he loved the fan base there, Al Davis was about the money.
Oh, I know that. I have no doubt about that. But I think he would have found a way with Oakland. But I don't want to take too long of that because we have a lot of things. Let's talk soccer, brother. The Red Bulls won on yesterday.
How about those Red Bulls?
We love the Red Bulls because they actually have a name, even though it's a sponsored name. Because
here we go. Because
they're based on the name, the Red Bull drink. Because the owners of the team own the owners of Red Bull own the Red Bulls at one time.
Yes, not at one time. They still do.
They still do. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know how they keep all this going.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be the Red Bulls anymore. Believe me, if somebody else bought the team, they'd find another name, as opposed to continuing a sponsorship name.
So and you know how in soccer, I hate that they have the giant ad on their shirt. That's
the future, brother.
Oh no, it's not. No, I know
it is.
I know they have the little tag now, and the women's basketball. The WNBA has that now. It looks horrible.
Well, that's the future.
How much money they making? I don't even know, but it
doesn't matter. It's income. Only team. I'm guaranteeing you this. The only team that will never do that, because in 20 years, every team is going to have that on their uniforms. Every team in every league except the New York Yankees.
They'll have a patch, though. There will be a patch. I think a small patch.
I don't even see that.
I see that.
The interlocking NY is the best logo in the game, and is the best selling point on their jersey.
I have no doubt about that, brother. I'm not here to defend that. But what bothers me is that Fly Emirates sponsors like 50 teams, it seems.
Yeah, they do. They sponsor a lot of teams.
You watch a game or something. Oh, look, the Fly Emirates team is on.
It's actually Emirates Airlines, brother.
I know that.
That's their slogan is Fly Emirates.
I know that, brother. That's right. My problem with it. So anyway, let's talk about the Red Bulls. They were in Atlanta.
No, they were at home last night against Columbus.
My favorite team, NYCFC, team that doesn't have a name.
Well, they're now out of the playoffs, brother.
And how'd that happen?
Your favorite team.
How'd that happen, brother?
Well, which one? We're going to go good news first or bad news first?
Let's make fun of NYCFC first.
Well, if you want to make fun of NYCFC, then we can talk about how they traveled to Atlanta yesterday and wound up losing 3-1, which meant that they lost by the aggregate 4-1 because Atlanta United had defeated them last week at Yankee Stadium 1-0, which was bad because I have to explain the MLS. They play two games. And it's almost like each game is a half because it's the total goals in the series is what wins
and the
series.
Only time they do this, for those who don't know, is during the playoffs, which is like it's like changing the rules at the end of the
really.
season. Yes, it's stupid.
No, this is how it's done all over the world.
Yeah,
brother.
well, that
I've explained
doesn't
this to you many times.
That doesn't mean
you keep rejecting my explanation, but this is how they do it all over the world.
Yeah, well,
right?
what are those European teams that are going to leave FIFA? Was it and then start their own leagues or something?
The Super Champions League or something.
Yeah.
Maybe
they'll
that's been
change,
a rumor for a long time.
Maybe they'll change the rules to something normal, but you don't play two halves and two 90-minute halves.
Yes, right.
Stupid.
Anyway.
And I played soccer, everyone. I grew up, Timmy and I both played soccer.
Yes, we did. And some of us still respect the rules of the game. So, anyway.
We didn't have that thing. We just had one and out. So,
yes. So, anyway, yesterday, NYCFC scored. They did get a goal. They got a road goal, which would have been big, but it didn't matter because Atlanta scored 3 yesterday at home. Now, again, basically what happens in these games is the home team is expected to win their game. It's just like the NBA or the NHL or baseball or whatever. You need to hold serve on your home court. And NYCFC did not do that. Now, when you're starting with game one at your place, you need to be able to win that game to put pressure on the opposing team and the higher seeded team for when they go back to their place. That's what Columbus did to the Red Bulls. But the Red Bulls were able to overcome that. Instead, NYCFC lost the first game. Now they had to go on the road and not only win, but win by 2 goals. Or actually, no, they would have had to win just by 1 goal. But they needed to score, and they only got 1. Atlanta got a penalty kick early and then basically hammered NYCFC. And from what I heard after the match, there was a lot of anger from the NYCFC people. I heard I saw some stuff on Twitter that said the team's coach was pretty angry afterwards, and was let's say testy with some of the members of the media.
Right.
David Silva, their star player, he left after the game without even talking to the media. So I mean, I guess I understand that they're upset that their season ended, but at the same time, nobody expected them to win. Atlanta and the Red Bulls were clearly the 2 top teams in the East this season. And the fact that they will now meet in the Eastern Conference Final isn't a surprise, I guess, to anybody except NYCFC, because their reaction after the game, like I said, it's understandable they're upset they lost, but why are you being unprofessional after the game, and why take that sort of attitude with the people that have been covering you all season?
I agree. I think. It's nice to see that they're on fire that they lost. Instead of saying, "Oh, we lost," but at the same time, if you lost anyway, at least talk to the media, set yourself up for next year.
You still have a job to do, and part of your job, part of David Silva's job as the face of the franchise at NYCFC, and part of the reason why he makes so many millions of dollars a season is because he is also a spokesman for the team.
Right.
And part of that means you talk to the press, and especially for a manager, that's a huge part of the job. And now you're going to sit here and call the media names and get angry at some of the questions that were asked. And it doesn't make any sense to me at all. When you win, you act like a pro. When you lose, you act like a pro. I mean, the results should not change how people are after the game.
No, I agree.
Like I said, you can be mad. You can voice that anger. Prime example: Mike Petke. When I covered the Metro Stars, when he played for the Metro Stars, Long Island kid, who now coaches Real Salt Lake out in Utah. After some games, he was completely on fire, and he would tell us, he would say, "Look, guys, I don't know if I want to talk because I know if I talk to you guys, I'm going to get fined." and we would say, I would just say to him, I would say, "Mike, look, what do you want to do?" I said, "You tell me." I said, "I'm willing. If you want me to walk away, I'll walk away. If you got something to say," and then he would eventually say, "All right, let's try it. Let's see." And I'd ask him a couple of questions, and then one of the other guys would ask him a question, and then all of a sudden he would get himself fired up, and then he'd just start talking, and then after he was done, he would just start laughing. He goes, "Oh, thanks a lot, guys. You just cost me money." But he did it because he knew he was one of the guys who was the conscience of the team, and it wasn't necessarily he was one of the he was the best player, because he wasn't the best player. He was a good, experienced voice of the team, so to speak, and he was a very good player, but he was never the best guy on the team.